Welcome back to My Plug Life, and right now I am shopping in order to bring you a quick video about how the wife stole my electric car. Now, if any of you have been in a long-term relationship, you realize creatures like the wife, they're very crafty. They think in long-term situations. And I didn't realize at the time that she had an intent that she wanted to try out an electric vehicle and see if it was good for her and her lifestyle. Now, she is a science teacher, so she realizes the environment and the impact on it. She wanted to do something good for the environment, and she realizes that she's only about 6 blocks away from work, so she doesn't need a big gas car. She could ride her bike occasionally, but in the wintertime, it's not as convenient with the snow. So she just basically wanted something that could get her there and back. But she didn't know anybody with an electric car to have that discussion. But really, at the end of the day, she wanted one for an extended test drive. She wanted to see what it would be like for a week or two or whatever in her life if it was something that she could go ahead and buy herself. Now, she didn't realize that her husband was sort of thinking the same sort of thing. Now, I had heard about Tesla. I saw the Model S and X, and I thought, okay, this is a pretty cool thing, but I can't afford this really expensive car, especially since it's only going to be a local driver. At the time, I didn't realize that you could do road trips with these things. So when they came out with the Model 3, I saw the announcement and I watched the show, the reveal, and I told my wife about it. Now, this is our opportunity to pounce. She didn't realize that I was thinking about it that much, so she now had to twist and manipulate in order to get me to buy this thing. So she said, we had a little bit of a discussion, and I was, wishy-washy, do I want it or not? She said, it's $1,000, you can get your money back, put it on it, don't worry about it. So, as we all know, sometimes it's better not to argue. I throw my money on it, and then I spend a little time thinking, how am I going to budget this thing? Now, I figured $35,000 it was announced for. $49,000 probably coming to Canada. That'd probably be about the price. It'd be, they said, 3 years before production starts, another probably year before it comes to Canada. So $49,000 over 4 years, probably about $12,000 a year, and I started budgeting for that. Now, my wife was coming from a Ford Focus. We had this car, which would be our long road trip car. We went down to LA and Vegas and came back all in one road trip, so we had knew how to use this thing. It was a very good vehicle. It had replaced the Ford Focus had replaced a Neon, which couldn't even get up a hill without downshifting twice, and it had lost paint all over the place. So it was not a very good vehicle at the time. And actually, that thing only existed because her previous vehicle, when she was in college, had randomly started on fire while she was in class. So she bought it for the price. She didn't even see the vehicle. When she signed the paper, she bought it used, and they said, you can pick up your car in a day or two because we got to take it out of 3 feet of snow. Welcome to Quebec in the wintertime. Anyways, fast forward to me figuring out my plan. So if we all know a little bit of history, we know that 3-year production turned into a 2-year production, and that another year to Canada actually changed to 6 months. So it was basically 2.5 years before it came to Canada. And that's where I got the email saying, you're ready to get your car. I was like, this is a little soon. And the only thing available at the time wasn't the standard. It wasn't even the performance or all-wheel drive. It was only the long-range rear-wheel drive. And it was an extra $20,000 for this thing. It was $70,000 for this car. And that was beyond what I wanted to pay. But I don't know what happened. Somehow, maybe some drugs got in the water, or she spent a lot of time convincing me. But I eventually did decide, okay, fine, I'll take that car. A couple months later, car shows up. I'm super excited. I'm going to start taking it to work. And I was enjoying it. Now, my wife had the opportunity to take it around the block a few times, with me, of course, in the passenger seat, making sure that she's safe with it, with my new baby. But this wasn't good enough for her. She actually wanted to take it to work every day and see what it was like. So when she heard that I didn't really like the situation, it was an hour to get to work and then a 20-minute or 30-minute to find parking. It wasn't as convenient for me. So she said, why don't you take transit? Now I thought, okay, well, I'm going to take transit. It's going to be an hour. So that is quicker. So I said, okay, well, I'll do this for a month or 2 or 3 until the situation for parking is fixed. I said, that's fine. I'll just leave it at home. She said, okay, no problem. You can leave it at home. I'll occasionally take it to work. And for all of you who've been in that kind of relationship, you realize the word occasionally means all the freaking time. I was okay with this. I was okay. She could take it to work, and that was fine. And it was a little bit colder, so she could preheat the car. So she got a little bit of, fancy stuff for that. But I would probably pick it up in a couple months, and it would be all good. So fast forward about 3-4 months, now I want my car back. This is not acceptable. She's gotten the Tesla itch. She loves the car. She loves everything about it, and she's now got to give it up. That's not acceptable to her. I have a long argument, and it ends with me basically saying, I'll just stop payments. So I got the car back. I was happy. I got to take it out. But she still had another ace up her sleeve. No. She still wanted this electric car. So what she did, she's very smart, and I didn't realize it until much later what she did. So I took her the old Ford Focus, drove it around the block, cleaned up the brakes, recharged the battery. It was good to go, back working order for her to drive that 6 blocks. So when I took my car out to work the very first time, after a long period of time, and she took the Ford Focus to her work, I got a phone call from her where she was crying. Now, I don't know to this day if these were real tears or fake tears, but she was bawling. She said, I can't drive this car. It's making all the squeaking noises. I think the wheel's going to fall off. I had to drive 30 kilometers an hour to work with the 4-ways on the whole way. I can't drive this car. She's trying to get me back into the bus again. I can't believe this. Anyways, at the time I just said, that's fine. I know a guy. He's about a half a block away. He'll take a look at the car right after you're done, and he'll fix it up. So she takes it there. He throws it on the hoist, brings it back down after like a half an hour. He says, here you go. And she's thinking to herself, great, what's wrong with it? How can I get rid of this thing? And he just says, the brakes are a little bit dirty. The suspension was a little loose. I just tightened it up. You're good to go. This is back to normal. No, this is not good enough. This is not acceptable. She had the opportunity to have a Tesla, and now it's being taken away from her. Okay, fine. How is she going to get back into one? Well, a couple months before that, I don't know, maybe a year before that, she decided she wanted to get an electromechanical Solo. Now, this is a one-seater, 120 kilometer range or so, little 3-wheel electric car. She decided that actually she was really wanting to get this thing at the time because she had gotten the fever of getting an electric car. She hadn't tried it out, but she had figured it was a $20,000 car. It was super cheap, Canadian, of course, and it was made here locally in Vancouver. Now, fast forwarding history on that Electromechanica, what happened is they actually decided to start mass producing them in China and shipping them to California for sale. I don't even think to this day that they're selling them in California. It's a long story with this company. But after I took my electric car back, she gave it a couple months of driving hers. And I swear, every day she was probably thinking, I want to get back in that electric car. I need to get back in that thing. And eventually she realized that this Solo was not going anywhere and nothing's happening with it. So she eventually decided to put her deposit and get herself a Model 3. Now, it doesn't end there, of course. No, now she's got to show me up, because we all know that the wife is better than you. So what she does is, first of all, she's practical, and I'm not going to say cheap, because if she sees this, I might get in trouble. So she decides to buy the Standard Plus model, which was basically the base model at the time, with no color option. So the car was black. It's free at the time. But she's going to wrap it. Why is she going to wrap it, you ask? Well, because then it'll be that unique car again. That feel of being in the only car that's like that on the road is an amazing thing. You know, to this day, when we're going down the street in her car, we have people rolling down their window, random people, and they say, hey, I love your car. I love that color. And I think that's what she was going for. So when she got her Tesla Model 3 and it showed up and she was super excited, she immediately went to go get it wrapped so she could have that feeling again. Anyways, at the end of the day, we get rid of the Focus, and now we have 2 electric cars in our life. We have mine for long range trips, hers for shorter in town, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We could use hers on a long trip if we wanted to. But now we have 2 electric cars in our life, and there's no way we're going back. Anyway, sir, thanks for checking it out. Like I said, I hope that she doesn't see this, and I look forward to bringing more videos about my life with the wife. See you then.